Accusations against Matt Lauer. NBC fired the Today Show host after a woman came forward Monday evening with allegations. Now more are telling their stories. ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with new reporting. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Robin. Some of the details that have emerged are simply too graphic for morning television. There are accusations of lewd texts and comments of Lauer exposing himself. And one woman alleges to the New York Times that a sexual encounter in his office culminated with her passing out and Lauer having his assistant take her to a nurse.
Matt Lauer's fall from grace casting a dark cloud over what was supposed to be a bright night at NBC's famed Christmas tree lighting. The former anchor scrubbed from the show.
The atmosphere is electric.
The star, with a reported $25 million a year salary, now fired.
And good morning. Welcome to Today on a Friday morning. I'm Matt Lauer.
Following the female staffer's allegations of sexual misconduct during and after the 2014 Olympics in Sochi. Late Wednesday, two more NBC employees came forward. One telling the New York Times Lauer summoned her to his office in 2001 during a workday, locked the door, and sexually assaulted her. The alleged victim says she didn't report it because she felt ashamed and didn't want to lose her job.
She says that he then asked her to unbutton her blouse, which she did. She says he then came around from his desk, pulled down her pants, and had sex with her. She says she does bear some of the responsibility for what happened, but she felt like he was kind of using his power over her.
According to the New York Times, after the sexual assault, she passed out in Lauer's office. He then asked his assistant to bring her to the nurse. The new allegations come after another scathing expose Wednesday. Variety details the claims of several current and former anonymous NBC staffers, one of whom told reporters Lauer gave her a sex toy as a present, accompanied by a note detailing how he wanted to use it on her. Another saying he exposed himself to her in his office, then reprimanded her when she didn't engage. Two more tell the magazine Lauer had a button under his desk that would automatically lock his office door. Variety adding several women complained to executives at the network about Lauer's behavior, which they say fell on deaf ears.
Matt Lauer and Savannah Guthrie.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Lauer's illustrious career at NBC has included plum assignments like hosting the Thanksgiving Day Parade and interviews with everyone from presidents to stars like Tom Cruise.
You're glib. You don't even know what Ritalin is.
Just 2 months ago, he grilled former Fox News star Bill O'Reilly about sexual allegations that led to his own termination from Fox News.
You were probably the last guy in the world that they wanted to fire because you were the guy that the ratings and the revenues were built on. You carried that network on your shoulders for a lot of years. So doesn't it seem safe to assume that the people at Fox News were given a piece of information or given some evidence that simply made it impossible for you to stay on at Fox News?
But this morning, other clips are resurfacing too, like this sexually driven sketch.
Drink it in, ladies.
Again, Matt, really? It's the third time this week.
Former co-host Katie Couric said this about Lauer in a game show lightning round in 2012.
So what is Matt's most annoying habit?
He pinches me on the
Wow!
TMZ released this video Wednesday, apparently showing Lauer commenting on a coworker's appearance on set.
Pretty sweater. Keep bending over like that. It's a nice view.
And this morning, the Today Show seeming to sever all ties with Lauer. His photo already scrubbed from their social media accounts.
Despite claims to the contrary, NBC News has released a statement saying we can say unequivocally that prior to Monday night, current NBC News management was never made aware of any complaints about Matt Lauer's conduct. George.
Okay, Lindsay, thanks. And we just got a statement from Matt Lauer. I want to read that to you right now. It's just come in on the email. He says, "There are no words to express my sorrow and regret for the pain I have caused others by words and actions. To the people I have hurt, I am truly sorry. As I am writing this, I realize the depth of the damage and disappointment I have left behind at home and at NBC. Some of what is being said about me is untrue or mischaracterized, but there's enough truth in these stories to make me feel embarrassed and ashamed." There's more after that, but that's the nub of the statement from Matt Lauer right now. And we are joined also by the reporters who broke the story for Variety magazine, New York bureau chief Ramin Satuday and Elizabeth Wagmeister, who also works for Page 6 TV. And Elizabeth, let me begin with you right now. You just heard Matt Lauer say that some of the stories have been mischaracterized. You were working on this for weeks before NBC made their move. How many women did you talk to? What did they say?
We spoke to 3 women and multiple sources. We did dozens of interviews. We investigated this for 2 months, and we were told some very shocking and disturbing stories, which are a stark contrast to the Matt Lauer that everybody has known for over 20 years. We were told that he gave a sex tape to one of his former employees along with a graphic note about what he wanted to do with it. We were told that he called a woman into his office and dropped his pants, exposed himself, and when she didn't want to do anything with him, he reprimanded her. These women were scared because Matt Lauer had so much power. It's what we're hearing with all these stories, the unfair power dynamic.
And this appeared to be an open secret at NBC as well from your reporting. Ramin, I want to bring this to you because we've seen these statements from the NBC brass. Chairman Andy Lack said on Monday night, first time in 20 years, he's heard a complaint. They doubled down overnight, saying unequivocally there were no complaints before Monday night. That's at odds with your reporting.
It is at odds with our reporting. We had talked to dozens of former and current staffers who say that there was general knowledge within all ranks of NBC, between staffers, high-ranking executives, other anchors that were on air with Matt, knowing, detailing, speaking about what Matt was doing, pursuing women.
So is this semantics here that there were no formal complaints with the HR department?
It seems like they're referencing paperwork as opposed to actual knowledge, and I think that's where this story is headed. The question of who knew what when, and many of the sources we talked to find it very hard to believe that they can issue this blanket statement saying that nobody knew.
And Elizabeth, this appears to have been allowed to continue because of the enormous power Matt yielded both on camera and behind the scenes.
Absolutely. I mean, Matt Lauer, he made $25 million per year. He was there for over 20 years. He was the face of the Today Show. They didn't want to let anything ruin that.
And it appears that from what you were reporting as well that he seemed to focus on people at work, especially in recent years.
This is an important aspect of the story. The harassment occurred in the office. It occurred in his office. It occurred while he was taking work trips. It occurred in hotel rooms. This was behavior that he didn't do on his own or away from NBC. This was done within the halls of the newsroom.
And we were told that, Matt, he was very paranoid about being caught. He's a big star, so he knew that he could be caught by tabloid reporters. That's why he kept it within his stable, and also he knew he had power there, so he was pretty assured that these women would not complain about him because he was the big man there.
You've talked to dozens of people. Expect more women to come forward?
We've been in communication with more victims, and we're in the process of vetting their stories.
Thanks for coming on this morning.
Developments in the firing of Today Show host Matt Lauer in the wake of those sexual misconduct accusations.
Yeah, the network is looking into whether anybody knew about Lauer's alleged behavior and failed to report it. ABC's Ariel Reshef is in studio with more on that. Ariel, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan and Cecilia. This morning, we're learning more about when NBC executives first confronted Matt Lauer about the allegations and what he told them. The network saying management met with the former Today Show host weeks before his very public firing.
This morning, NBC News executives say they confronted Matt Lauer weeks before his first accuser came forward. Top brass now claiming they questioned the fired Today Show host after learning several media outlets were pursuing stories about possible sexual misconduct, but say at the time Lauer denied any wrongdoing.
When asked directly about any misconduct, Lauer said he, quote, could not think of anything at all.
This after NBC's statement Wednesday saying we can say unequivocally that prior to Monday night, current NBC News management was never made aware of any complaints about Matt Lauer's conduct.
Good morning, everyone.
Lauer's long-standing career came to a grinding halt when an employee came to NBC to tell her story.
Good morning. Breaking news overnight. Matt Lauer has been terminated from NBC News.
ABC News has confirmed an investigation is underway at NBC, the company combing through Lauer's emails. NBC News President Noah Oppenheim promising swift action against anyone who knew about the alleged behavior and didn't report it. Lauer's multi-million-dollar contract now in question. NBC saying the former star anchor is not getting paid past his last day, but a legal battle could be looming.
NBC could have liability if Matt Lauer chooses to challenge the termination. The crux of this case is whether he engaged in the conduct that he's been accused of and whether that conduct violates the morality clause in his contract.
Lauer releasing a statement earlier this week that read in part, "To the people I have hurt, I am truly sorry. Some of what is being said about me is untrue or mischaracterized, but there is enough truth in these stories to make me feel embarrassed and ashamed."
We reached out to Lauer's representatives. They are not commenting on the latest revelations. This morning, we know 3 accusers have come forward to NBC. We checked with NYPD. At this time, there are no criminal allegations against Matt Lauer.
It's a sad story all around, but an important moment in our culture. Ariel, thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Replaces Sam Spencer. DR Elizabeth Olivia Benson assist the team.